So today I'm going to be doing a Penelope Douglas, I guess, like guide to her books and her backlist. So let's get right into it. I'm super excited because Penelope Douglas is one of my favorite authors of all time. She is just amazing at like everything writing wise and what I want as a romance. So I'm going to kind of start off first with her series, and then I'll go into a little bit of her standalones. So her more, I don't know if it's not, I guess this is her like first big series, and that is the Fall Away series. This one is so good. The first book, I've explained this book multiple times on my channel already, but this one is Bully, and this is a bully romance. And so our main character, Tate and Jared, they have been best friends since they were young, and then the summer before freshman year, Jared goes off to spend a summer with his father, and he comes back a totally different person, and he starts being really mean to Tate and bullying her. And so then Tate decides to like fight back. Like years later, she has not been like fighting back and just letting him bully her. And so then she decides to fight back, and then they have a romance, and it's so good. I love Jared and Tate. They're one of my favorite couples of all time. Okay, so the next book in the series is Until You, and this is just Tate and Jared's story from Jared's perspective. And then I'm just not really going to explain that because it's the same as Bully, but just from Jared's perspective. And then the like real kind of second book is Rival by Penelope Douglas. This is about Jared's best friend. I think his name is Maddox. Maddox. And I don't really know his name, but Maddox, I don't know. Anyways, let's just call him the hero. So the hero and the heroine, they are like step siblings, and something happened years ago, and then the heroine got like shipped off to a boarding school, and they had like hated each other ever since then. And so now she's like back in town, and the hero's like, oh well, like you know, we have this like horrible past, and I still like hate you for what happened, kind of thing. I don't really remember this that well, but I remember really loving the heroine. She's kind of like one of those like feisty, badass heroines, and I love that in books. And so the next book is one of my all-time favorites from her. It's called Falling Away, and this is with Tate's best friend and Jared's, well actually I'm not going to tell you who the hero is because it's a spoiler for Bully, but it's between this girl Casey and our hero, and she kind of feels she's always been pining after the hero, and she had recently broken up with her boyfriend, and she's always kind of loved the hero from afar, or not really loved him, had like a fascination with him. And so now she is like back in town, and she kind of like wants to be with him, but they kind of dance around each other, and it's really, really angsty, and I love it so much. I'm not explaining it the best, but this is like the third book, and you have to read this book. It's so good. It almost beats out Bully for me in this series. I love this book. And then the next book in the series is The Next Flame, and this is just like two novellas. It's the first novella is with Jared and Tate, and it's kind of something like happens between them, and so they kind of get ripped apart from each other. So sorry if you love Jared and Tate, but they get back together at the end. And I love Jared and Tate so much, so I was so here for this, and it was so angsty and amazing. And then the other novella is about I think it's, what's his name? Oh my gosh. Jared. I almost forgot his name for some reason. Jared. It's Jared's mother and Maddox's like dad, and they always had kind of like a secret relationship, and It's really good. And then we also see, it's like from their child's perspective, and so then we kind of see all of like the offspring of the characters, and I love that so much. And then we're actually, I don't know if it's this year or next year, we're getting the spin-off for the series, and I'm so excited because I love this whole series so much, and I can't wait to see all of my favorite characters again. And definitely check this book series out. It's amazing. Bully is one of my favorite books of all time. So the next series is also another favorite of mine, and I think this series is one of her most well-known, and I think it's the Devil's Night series. I only have Corrupt, Kill Switch, and Nightfall with me. I lent Hideaway to a friend, and she needs to read it right now. So if you're watching this, friend, you need to finish that book because it's amazing and I want it back. So, but anyways, this series is kind of like a lighter dark romance series, and so our main character, and it's a companion novel series too. So the first book is Corrupt, and this is between, her name is Erika and Michael, and Erika has always really had a thing for Michael, but she has been dating his younger brother, and so now she like broke up with him, and she really never wanted to be with him. But anyways, Michael's coming back into her life, and so she's like, ooh, this is my chance. And but then years ago, she went, there's this whole like group in this town called, I don't know if it's called the Devil's Night or just like the guys, I don't really know. But anyways, they're like known around the town for making mischief and stuff, and so every night, the night before Halloween, they do all these different pranks. And so one time Rika went with them, and some bad things happened that Rika caused for the guys, and so they now want revenge on her for what they thought she did. And so she now, like, flash forward to the present, she doesn't know why they all hate her, and Michael is like having a hard time because he's like falling in love with her, but he feels like he should feel the same way as the guys do, even though they went to jail and he didn't for anything. But it's really good. It's amazing. It's dark romance. There's a lot of steamy scenes in this book, and I love it so much. And then the next book is Hideaway, and that's Kai's book. I'll put it up here, but that's Kai's book, and that is with, our heroine has relations to Damon, and he's in the first book, and Kai kind of, like, Kai thinks that Damon is with the heroine, but he's not, and so, like, Kai's always, like, met her this one night on Devil's Night, on one of the Devil's Night years or whatever, and he was like, ooh, I like this girl, and he's been trying to find her ever since. And there's like an arranged marriage, and well, actually it's not really arranged marriage anyways, but it's really good. I love Kai. He's kind of like the calmer of all of them, I feel like, and it's really good. But I think I know a lot of people love the third book, which is Kill Switch, which is Damon's story, and Damon is like crazy. He's dark, he's twisted, and throughout the whole series we're kind of made to hate him because of what he did to Rika in the first book, and just like his character. And so we are meant to not really like him, but then he kind of gets his redemption story in this book. And I really love Damon, and the heroine in this book, her name is Winter, and she's blind. And so I love that in all of these books in this series, the couples kind of have a past, and I really like that. And I think Penelope Douglas does that with a lot of her books, but it's really good, and it's always so well written. I don't know what you would call that, like maybe second chance, I don't really know, but this book is amazing. It's dark, twisted, and very passionate, and I think it is one of my favorites in the series. Corrupt is my favorite, but Kill Switch is so close to being second. Okay, so now we're going to talk about Conclave, which is like a novella in this series, and it was amazing. Such a great novella. I think anything that Penelope Douglas writes will just make me, I mean, I have to read it. Auto-buy. She's my auto-buy author. I just love her books so much. And then the next book is Nightfall. That's Will's story. And I actually haven't read that yet, so I need to read it. I've been putting it off because it is humongous. It is so big, but I really wanted to read it, and that's the one book by her that I haven't read yet. Okay, so now we're going to get into her standalones. So very excited. So the first standalone I'll talk about is Misconduct. And this book is our heroine. She was like a pro tennis player, and then something happened. She had an accident or something, and then she becomes a teacher. And so her romance is between a father of a kid in her class, and he's kind of like going against all of these new things that she's trying to bring to the school. And it's really good. It has a lot of banter, really good banter, and he's like this big CEO, and it's set in New Orleans, and then towards the end there's kind of this like a little bit of action, I guess, or like a thread of mystery through the book, and I really like this one. They have such great banter. It's amazing. I remember loving this. I read this like a year ago or 2 years ago, and I really liked it. And this one is definitely one of my favorites. It's from Penelope Douglas. It's very good. I love this book. Okay, so the next book is called Punk 57, and this is amazing. Like, chef's kiss. I probably already did that, but it's just, I love this book so much, and that is Punk 57 by Penelope Douglas. In this book we follow Ryan and Misha, and they are like pen pals when they were younger, and it's a really funny story in the book so they thought that Misha was a girl and they thought that Ryan was a boy, so they like matched them up, thinking that one was like the other, but it wasn't. So that's how they became pen pals when they were young in their like classroom or something. And then they carried on that until they were teenagers. And so then one day Ryan is at this like party or something, and then Misha accidentally sees Ryan, and they had never talked about ever like meeting in person because they wanted to keep it, their friendship safe, I guess. They had insecurities about what each other person would think of them if they met them. And so Misha finds Ryan, and he was like, "You're totally different than I thought you were." And so then he decides to go to her school and kind of like try to, I guess, like get back at her. I don't really know. It's really interesting because she's like acting totally different from who she acted as like a pen pal. She's kind of like not like a mean girl, but a super popular girl, and she kind of has to do things because there are people around her that expect her to do those things. And I just love this book so much. They're one of my favorite couples of all time. Oh my god, it's so good. And then if any of y'all read this book, that car scene at the movie theater, or like the outdoor movie, oh girl, that was some steamy stuff, and I loved it. And this book is definitely like top 3 favorite from Penelope Douglas. This is so freaking good. Okay, so the next book is Birthday Girl by Penelope Douglas. I think this is one of her also most popular books. So our main character, Jordan, she kind of like falls for her boyfriend's dad. And so she first meets him before ever knowing that he's her boyfriend's dad, and they meet at this like at the movie theaters, and it's really cute. And she like finds out, and so they have to her and her boyfriend have to stay with her boyfriend's dad. His name is Pike, and there's no like cheating involved or anything on her part. And so she is kind of like, well, I met this guy under like different circumstances, but he's really good looking, but I am with my boyfriend, he's my boyfriend's dad, that's so wrong. And so things lead to something, and it's just so good. It's forbidden. It's kind of not really small town, but it feels like that, and it's just really good. There's a huge age gap, and it's amazing. I love this book so much. I really need to do a reread of this one. I haven't read this one in a couple years, but it's amazing. So definitely go pick it out if you haven't. I think it might be on Kindle Unlimited or free. So definitely go check it out. And then the last book that I'm going to share from Penelope Douglas is Credence. This one she released last year, and people freaked out about this book. So it's kind of like reverse harem, and so it's very taboo. So our main character, I think her name is Tiernan, and she kind of, her parents like passed away, both of them, and so she doesn't really have anybody to stay with, and so she ends up staying with like her I think uncle or something, and he lives in like the mountains on like a farm and stuff, and so she decides to go there and spend the rest of her like adulthood, I mean not adulthood, like her teenage years there. She's almost like 18, or she's 18 and she's trying to figure out life or something, and so there's two brothers and then the dad, and so at first she's really like cold and doesn't really want to be there, even though she decided to go there, and then she like starts warming up to them, and they have like a thing with her individually, and it's really good, and there's some action, and it's very, very steamy. I think so is her father's stepbrother. But anyways, it's so good. It's taboo. It's like not dark, but it's just very taboo, and I loved it. Oh my goodness, I love all of the characters, and the ending was crazy, and this book is so good. If you like reverse harem, like mountain men, this one is definitely the one for you. So I want to thank you all for watching this video, and if you want me to do more like author guides, definitely leave in the comments what authors you would want me to do guides for. I think I might do one, I don't know, maybe Gianna Darling, because I've read a lot of her books. I'll have to think about what other authors I could do, but definitely let me know in the comments down below, and I hope you love this video as much as I do, because Penelope Douglas is like my favorite author of all time. She's one of my auto-buy authors. She will always be. So tell me your auto-buy authors, because I want to know. I want to fall in love with more authors and read more, a variety of authors. So I hope you had so much fun watching this video, and I will see you soon. Bye guys.